So you got a new MacBook and you're wondering whether or not you should get a case to protect it. In my view, you definitely should get a case because although the MacBook is beautiful in design without a case, and generally it can hold its own, this one's 3 years old. It's just got a few scratches on the bottom all over here, some nicks and bumps all around the edges, but for all intents and purposes, from normal viewing distance, it looks great, it looks perfectly fine, and this is probably why most people don't even rock a MacBook case. However, upon close inspection, it does have scuffs, nicks on it, and bumps and scratches. So if you want to avoid that, because mainly when I'm looking to resell my M2 Max, probably when the M3 comes out or the M4 or whenever I decide to upgrade, I want to be able to sell it to someone and get them the most value for their money, as well as maintain a good seller score. So in order to do that, I wanted to find the best MacBook case. And in my mind, the best MacBook case is one that protects it from scratches, bumps, nicks, but at the same time maintains the MacBook's nice design. And it also shouldn't add a lot to the weight, and it should also still allow me to fit it in a backpack and everything like that. Cue the cases that I'm going to be reviewing today. We have 7 total. I couldn't land on a definitively best one. There's definitely one that I'm keeping ahead of all the rest, but I think there's going to be personal preference playing into this. I will show you the best ones that I came across. You can let me know if you have any others in mind down below. But these are the ones that I think are the thinnest, slimmest cases that will protect it from scratches and bumps, that are not intrusive, and surprisingly the best ones are actually some of the cheapest ones as well, so you'll be saving money there too. Also, all the cases we're about to talk about, they should all be compatible with the 2021 M1 Pro and M1 Max MacBooks, as well as the 2023 M2 Pro and M2 Max MacBooks. So we got 2023 M2 Max over here, and we've got the 2019 Intel-based MacBook over here, just to give you a reference of what it looks like without a case. The cases will also probably be available for the MacBook Air, I imagine. They will have versions for that as well, and if they do, I will include links down below, so product links in the description below. You can check out the most up-to-date prices. Surprisingly enough, when it comes to MacBook cases, I don't think there's a correlation between quality necessarily and the amount you're paying, which is good news, at least based on what I've observed, and I'll walk through the different cases and show you why I think that's the case. We'll start off with clear cases, move our way to clear matte cases, and then we have one fabric case, and then I'll discuss your skin options. There are different companies that just provide skins, and maybe if you really don't want to intrude on your MacBook's weight and size and everything like that, you want to go with the case. I know there's rugged case options out there that might protect it more from a fall, and if you're prone to dropping your MacBook frequently, I don't know, I think I've dropped my MacBook once in like 15 years, so I'm not really looking to protect it from drops, and if you do drop it, it's probably going to mess with the internals either way, regardless of how rugged your case is. So we're just looking at cases here that will just protect it from scuffs, bumps, nicks, scratches. With that out of the way, let's get right into it, guys. What's up, everybody? Welcome to SaifBuys. I'm Saif, and we'll start off with the Mosiso case that I have applied to the M2 Max MacBook over here. And as you can see, side by side with a non-cased MacBook. No case on this one. We've got the Mosiso case on this one. We'll talk about all the pros first. It's transparent, doesn't intrude on the design of the MacBook, covers almost every corner. In terms of the weight, weighing down on the screen, as you can see, it does not weigh much, so it'll only intrude when you have it like around this angle. It'll sort of slap shut, but if you have it at anything above, like there, is it moving? No, it's not. Okay, so relative to most cases out there, it's not intruding on the ability of the MacBook to remain at different angles like this. Also, this is what it looks like when you have it open and you're working on it. Barely visible in comparison, for example, to one without a case. Let's show side by side. We've got the 2019 MacBook here. And so with a case, without a case, you know, there's not that much difference when you're working on it every day. You won't notice that case. It sort of fades into the background, which we like. Another pro is that these feet on the bottom are super grippy, especially in comparison to some of the other cases we'll cover. There's relatively no shifting here, as you can see. It won't slide about. Now let's move on to the cons. So the cons of this case, the biggest one, and the reason I'm probably going to stick with another case that I'm going to unbox at the end, and that'll be the only case we unbox here together. The rest of the cases I've tried out and I've developed an opinion on. The major issue here is this corner here is exposed. I do not like having a corner exposed for no reason, because I believe the 7th case we're going to unbox together that we'll go through, it is basically identical to this, but it covers the corner over here. And we'll see if that's the case, if the blue Swan case that we're going to cover in 7th place is going to end up being the one we go with, because that one's $13. This one's about $15 US, so both extremely cheap cases. Also, one more pro here is that it's fairly resistant to fingerprints in the sense that in most lighting conditions, people will not notice any fingerprints on this, but obviously if you do bring it under, you know, a light, you try to look at it from specific angles, you'll notice the fingerprints. Also, it is a clear case, so I don't know about yellowing. So we have a risk of yellowing with any clear case. Granted, of course, at $15, I don't think it's a big deal if this ends up yellowing and I want to get another one. Another big con with clear cases is they do tend to scratch super easy. So this one, I've been using it for about 2 weeks. Obviously, I don't touch the MacBook that much. It's usually just docked on my workstation, on my desk. And even despite that fact, it still has started to get scratches. I think most clear cases come with like scratches already on them from how delicate they are. Also, it is basically when you apply it, you're gonna have to be really careful and wipe down your MacBook because I don't know if you can see, but there are some dust particles and stuff that could easily get in there. And upon close inspection, not from far away you definitely can't tell there's anything in there, but upon close inspection, you might notice dust particles and stuff on the inside. One other small gripe I have is I do not like the grills on the bottom of the case. I would prefer if it had no grills. I know that's for improved airflow, but the Apple approved cases, the ones that they sell on the Apple website, don't have grills on the bottom, so that makes me believe it's fine if your case doesn't have grill on the bottom. So I would have preferred they didn't have that. But I think that about covers it with cons. And some of those cons are relevant for all clear cases, and some are specific to this one. The fact that this corner isn't covered here is a specific downfall of this Mosiso case. All right, and now it was just a quick design test to show you what it looks like when you're carrying it. Bam. In contrast to no case. So we got a case, we got no case. Barely any thickness added. Of course, at the back, we got those grills, kind of off-putting. But yeah, this is what it looks like. All right, moving on to our next case here, guys. I'll show you the Tech21 case from Apple. And this is just a stark contrast. We're gonna move from a $15 case, which was the Mosiso, over to one that is around $90 US and purchasable only from Apple or Tech21 as far as I could see. This case is $90 US in comparison to 15, and a lot of the cases here are $40 US or below. So this one is really got a lot to prove here to justify that price. And quite frankly, spoiler alert, I don't think it justifies its price at all. And I have no problem with paying $90 for a case if it justifies its price. So let us remove the case, and this is going to be the grueling part of this whole video, is hopefully I can fast forward these parts for you guys. But taking off the thing, and I'm going to be risking, of course. Alright, so interesting thing happened here when I was taking off the Mosiso case. A crack appeared at the corner there. So not the best in terms of durability for taking it on and off. Another con for the Mosiso case, let's add that. Okay, scratch right there. I hope we can see that. Alright, Mosiso. Also, a quick thing about the Mosiso case, guys. It does come with like something for your keyboard. It comes with like a screen protector too. I wouldn't use either of those. I don't think Apple approves of the use of those on the MacBooks, so don't fall for that. You're not getting more, really. I think those cost virtually nothing for them to include. Let us remove the bottom. Okay, we've got it here. Oh no. Okay. It's kind of iffy when you're putting on and taking off cases. You are risking scratching your MacBook, ironically enough. But thankfully, nope, no scratches. We are good. This is the M2 Max MacBook Pro with no case. It's in the center. Okay. So, Mosiso case, give it a solid 8 out of 10 there. Of course, it cracked at the end there, so... And here we go, Tech21. This one's on Apple's website. Trying to justify $90 US. Sometimes they have discount codes on their website, but if you get it from Apple, I believe it is $90 US. It's got a lot to prove here, but in my opinion, I used it for several days and not the biggest fan. Right off the front, let's apply it so you can see what it looks like. Relatively easy to apply. The cases are all relatively easy to apply. Definitely not the easiest to take off. But the good thing is, all of them have not scratched my MacBook so far, which is good. Alright, so that is the top over there applied on the Tech21 case. And then let's put it down. Now with all these transparent cases, you really want to put it and like not remove it again, because you are sort of putting fingerprints on the back of it, and you know they do come with like plastic film that you peel off, and you should really be cleaning your MacBook and then applying it and then basically never removing the case if you want it to be completely perfect. But I'm trying to demonstrate all the cases here, so I'm adding and removing them, so keep that in mind. All right, this is the Tech21 case. It does look great, and until I found the Mosiso case, I did think this was gonna be the one I was gonna go with, because it looks awesome. One thing I'm not a huge fan of is the border they got here, but it does have extra shielding or something, which makes me think if I were to drop this one versus the Mosiso case, this one wouldn't break. And I also think this one will be less prone to cracking and stuff like we saw when I was removing the Mosiso case. Sticking with the pros, again, fairly fingerprint resistant given that it's a clear case. Doesn't intrude on the design too much. As you can see from the back and the front, this is what it looks like when it's laying down. Also fairly slim, so it can still fit in your backpack. If your backpack could fit a MacBook without a case, it'll probably be able to fit it with this case. What's another pro here? The clarity. So if I wanted to apply a Dbrand skin or any skin on this and on the MacBook, I can easily just see the skin through this. And that's the case with all clear cases. I think it would complement any skins, whether you decide to apply those to your MacBook, while protecting all the corners and edges. And another pro, of course, it's got that corner accounted for, the one that wasn't covered by the Mosiso case. And most of the cases have that corner accounted for. So that's why I dinged the Mosiso case for not having protection on this corner here. All right, let's talk cons. So number one, it's got rubber feet, but the rubber feet are virtually useless because as you can see, it just slips regardless. Ding right there. Also, I don't like that it has this border around the design. Kind of intrudes on the design a bit. Same with the back. It's like they really didn't need to add this. Although I think they might cite it as a pro because it does look like it's got some sort of like technology in here that might protect it a little more if it were to fall maybe. Then again, I don't know. I definitely am not going to test that. And I definitely am not someone who drops MacBooks. As I said, in my 15 or 8 or 20 so years of owning MacBooks, I've dropped one like once. Also, upon close inspection, yeah, you do see the fingerprints, but from viewing distance, like, you know, if you're just walking around with this, people most likely won't see the fingerprints. Again, despite the fact that this is $90, it does not have any further scratch protection than other clear cases that I've reviewed. In fact, this one also came with scratches on it for as soon as I took it out. So like, it had some small scratches on it. And the scratches, really, you can only notice them in a specific light, but it is annoying if you do get it in that correct light. I'm not going to completely ding this. It's a high quality case, probably the most protection you'll get while maintaining the look, but it is $90 and it still has the cons of the other clear cases, so I personally am not going to be spending that for this one in specific. It does come in two different colors. It comes in this clear transparent, and it also comes in a black ash with a black tint on the transparent. So it's still transparent, but it comes with like a black tint. And yeah, let's give you that test where we're holding it. This is what it looks like. You know, you're walking around, you got your MacBook. This is what it's like from the other side. And side by side, with and without a case. Bam. You decide. All right, guys, and again, finally, let's do the case where we open them both like that and show you. Non-intrusive, doesn't really feel like it's got a case on it. Pretty nice. That was the Tech21 case, guys, coming in at $90 US, available on Apple's website and Tech21's website. You could probably get a coupon code or a discount on Tech21's website, not so much on Apple's website. Another pro I'm noticing here as I'm removing this is it's probably the easiest to remove of all of these cases. So you're paying for that ease of removal. And also, there's got to be something about that case, right? Like if Apple approved it for sale on their website, there's probably something special about that Tech21 case. But I personally don't see what's so special about it. Next clear case we're gonna unbox here. I've used this one for a few days as well, so like a week at least, I think. The SupCase from SupCase. It's the SupCase clear case, all right, with like a dark tint to it. So this is the SupCase case, if you care. I don't know. All right, this one also came with film on it. to help protect it from fingerprints and stuff when you first apply it. But yeah, SupCase. This is the darker tint, right? So it's not the purely transparent version. And we'll walk through the pros and cons, as always, starting with the pros. All right, and we have the SupCase installed. SupCase, I would say, is on par with the Tech21, but it costs less. I think this is like 20 or 30 US dollars, if I recall correctly. SupCase, this is the Unicorn Beetle, by the way, Unicorn Beetle. But yeah, here she is, guys. SupCase, this one's a darker tint on the case, but transparent nonetheless. And it's got the grills on the bottom. Okay, so let's start off with the pros. All right, it's transparent, doesn't impede on the design too much. All the other pros of the clear cases apply here. It basically is not too fingerprint magnety, but I do think because this one has a darker tint to it, the fingerprints are more visible on this than the other ones. But you could probably avoid that by getting the clear SupCase. It covers every single edge. Another pro here, the SupCase goes a little extra mile here. As you can see on the corners, we are nice and clear there. It's covering all the corners. The SupCase has that extra pro of extra indentations on all the corners, so extra protection if you do bump into a wall or something. I don't know if it's extra protection if it falls. Honestly, like I said, I think if it falls, you've got more major problems on your hand because these are heavy devices and have a lot of internals, so hope you have Apple Care. But in terms of protecting it from scuffs and everything, it's a go. Now let's move on to the cons. This is the thickest case out of all of them, out of all the clear cases. It has the most weight to it, adding the most weight. I don't know the exact calculation, but definitely at least like 1.5 times the weight of all the other clear cases. It also is most noticeable when you do open your Mac. Granted, still not all that noticeable because it is a little thicker than the other clear cases. This is with and without the case. As you can see, that's what it looks like when you're working on it every day. Another con would be, yeah, I don't know, small con. I don't like the grills on the bottom. I don't think Apple recommends you have grills on the bottom for heat dissipation, so I don't know why these companies keep trying to do that. I think it would look cleaner without the grills on the bottom. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know in the comments. What's another con here? Oh, the same cons as all the other clear cases, right? The fingerprints in specific lights, you'll notice them. Scratches, of course, are prone on the clear cases over time. Granted, of course, the scratches are only visible in specific light as well. That is the SupCase. Clear Beetle, I think is what it was called, or something like that. Unicorn Beetle. Again, product links in the description, guys. But yeah, this is what it looks like. Sturdy, nice, premium, without the premium price. Well, bye. There we go. That's the SupCase, guys. Hope that was good enough. Moving on to matte cases, guys, matte clear cases. All right, we've got the InCase. This one's also available on Apple's website as well as Amazon, I believe, and Best Buy. The InCase Hardshell rigid case. This one was, when I was initially conducting my search, I think the one I was gonna keep, but for reasons I am about to mention, I had decided not to keep it. And even as I'm putting it on, I'm just starting to remember why I was gonna keep this. It actually does look pretty nice. All right, guys, the InCase Hardshell case. It is a matte finish on this case in comparison to all the clear glossy cases we just looked at. First, let me just showcase it on its own. It does have like dots all over it, but the dots are really not visible. I don't even know if it's gonna come across on camera. Like when you're looking at it from far away, the dots are not visible, but when you're looking at it up close, they are fairly visible. I don't know why they put the dots. Maybe it's to resist fingerprints or something like that. Anyway, super slim, super nice. Let's just put it side by side here so you can see. There we go. Obviously, the 2019 MacBook we've got here is slimmer in general, so the case doesn't add that much bulk to the MacBook, or so you might perceive with this comparison. So pros are it's nice matte finish from far away, regular viewing distances. You might even be forgiven for thinking there isn't a case on this, but the dots do sort of give it away. It is extremely slim, but still protective, which I like, covering all the key corners here, covering this corner, that corner, the sides, top, the bottom. What else do you want? Of course, as with all cases, back here is not covered. The feet, relatively slidey compared to some of the other cases we already talked about, if you're worried about that. But again, a nice matte clear case if you do prefer a matte option over the glossy finishes. Less prone to scratching, less prone to fingerprints than any of the glossy clear case options we have discussed. Also, still allows the design of the MacBook to shine through, and if you do decide you want a Dbrand skin or any other skin from the skins we'll discuss at the end of this video, that will clearly showcase through the case without issue. Cons are few here. Like if we do open it, we show side by side, also relatively unintrusive. You don't really feel like there's a case on here when you're using it. It's another pro. What is my main con with this? I think I just prefer the glossy finish, the way it looks, like the shining. But honestly, I'm on the fence. I don't even know if I fully prefer the glossy finish. Looking at this right now, I'm flip-flopping here on the video, so I don't know. Still looks extremely nice. You might love or hate the dots that are showing here. Again, I don't know if this is showing on camera. You can clearly see those dots. Again, I think it helps with the anti-fingerprint. So if fingerprints annoy you more than having dots on your case, this is the one for you. And so here it is, like that, like that. So you just walk around, you got your MacBook, what's up? There they are side by side. All right, in terms of cons, yeah, I really couldn't list much there. This is a fairly good case, and it comes in at like $30 US or $40 US, something like that. And purchasable again from Apple, Amazon, Best Buy, available, pretty widely available. Also comes in a darker hue, I think, like an ash, if you don't want it to be completely clear. Haven't tried that one, but I imagine it is more or less the same. And again, since this is on Apple's website, you'll notice there's no grills on the bottom, because Apple seems to prefer it without the grills. So the grills are not necessary. If any of the case companies are watching this, we don't need those grills. They kind of like just make the case look cheaper, in my opinion. While we're on the InCase, let me show you what it looks like with a Dbrand skin. So when I said it would shine through, this is the InCase on a 14-inch M1 Pro MacBook with a Dbrand skin on it. This is the Ali Abdaal Dbrand skin, one of the Ali Abdaal designs. So this is what it looks like on the back and the front. The Dbrand skin shines through. Side by side. No Dbrand skin with a Dbrand skin. You decide. Again, with a Dbrand skin, moving on. No Dbrand skin. Alright guys, that was the InCase. Just in case you all wanted a case. Honestly, looking at it again, I do like the InCase. Granted, I don't know why they didn't add extra rubbery feet on it. It still slides around. And as I'm doing this, I can tell why not a lot of people have made videos reviewing MacBook cases. I don't think it's a properly searched term. Like it's as highly searched as iPhone cases, and I could tell it's just a pain to film because you're dealing with all these massive cases. All right, we've got another matte case. This time from Satechi, coming in around $40 US, I think, something like that. Available on Amazon and Satechi's website. Links in the description. This one comes in a clear case version and also like a darker version of the same clear case. We are looking at the completely clear one today. Pretty beautiful. This one is like the InCase, but without the dots. That's the vibe I got here, and that's why I ordered this one. However, it sadly, did it come with something? No. It looks relatively good. No scratches out of the box. I did use this for a bit too. Oh, this one is, I think this is better than the InCase, guys. Because you're getting that same matte texture, but without the dots. And I did try this, I just forgot what it looked like. And there we go. The Satechi Matte Clear Case. Amazon and Satechi's website. Pretty nice looking. All right. Let's start off with the pros. Super sleek design. It's basically as good as a glossy clear case, except it's matte, so a little bit more resistant to fingerprints. And but in the right light, again, you will notice the fingerprints. Fairly resistant to scratches. I think it did come with one scratch, if I remember correctly when I unboxed it somewhere, but it was such a small scratch that I'm having a hard time finding it right now. Extremely lightweight, extremely slim, all the pros of a lot of the other cases. Again, protects from scratches, bumps, scuffs. Let's put them side by side here so you can see. Fairly unobtrusive. I like it. We've got subtle branding here. Not all cases have the subtle branding. So putting it up, this is what it looks like you're at the cafe. I should have done this with all the cases actually. I should have showed you what it looks like from the back here. I don't know if I did or not. This is what they look like. Really unobtrusive, guys. Feels like there's virtually no case on here, which I really like, and was my goal when I was looking for the best MacBook case. Kind of liking this one, kind of feeling like I might end up going with this one still. As you can see, I'm deciding here with you because I sort of put these on, tried them on for a bit, and then switched them out. But seeing them for the second time, I'm starting to develop new opinions. And that is why I couldn't decide on which one was the best. It's clearly a lot of subjective preference here on what they look like. This is what it looks like from the sides. All right, let's talk cons real quick. All right, no, this one is fairly stiff in terms of it's not going to slide on your desk. It is, what else? Okay, so that's another pro, but what in terms of the cons, really, what am I thinking? What am I gonna, okay, I'm gonna ding it for the fact that the corner here, it's not coming up as high as on some of the other cases. And I don't think it offers any more flexibility in terms of opening and closing the case. So I don't know why they didn't go ahead and cover up, go higher with the plastic here. But that's it really. I can't, like, if you want a matte case, guys, this is definitely the one. It's either this or the InCase. Maybe get which one you can find cheaper, or if the dots turn you off on the InCase, then the Satechi here is your go-to. That is my recommendation, at least. And it does come in a darker version, so you got that going for it too. I imagine Dbrand Skins would look nice shining through this, or SlickWraps, or what was the other one? Phantom Skins. We'll talk about those at the end. And yeah, let's give you that quick look here. This is what it looks like. We're walking around. And so it looks like from the other side. In comparison, side by side. Great case. Definitely recommend it. That's why it's included on this list. Satechi case, liking it. Might end up keeping it. I think one thing actually with the Satechi case that I'm noticing now, what doesn't make any sense. Why? Why, oh why? Wait, another con with the Satechi here I'm starting to notice. Notice how it's covered here from the side. For some reason, they did not cover this. This does not need to be uncovered, so I don't know why they didn't cover that. So we're digging it for not going up real high on the corners here, and not covering this part here. I'm not sure why. Like, I'm not getting extra utility there. Is that just like material savings, cost savings? I don't know. Question for Satechi. Why? All right, guys. It's a Satechi case. Pretty beautiful, guys. Pretty beautiful indeed. All right, let's move on to the Spigen case, our first fabric case, our first and only fabric case. Bought that one just out of curiosity to see what it looks like. All right, coming on to what I believe is the 6th case here today. We have got the Spigen fabric case. What do they call it though? I'm just calling it a Spigen fabric case. It's just Urban Fit Spigen case. Urban Fit Spigen case. This is the box. Looks pretty good. Nice box. All right. Enough about the box. And right off the front, of course, you notice it's fabric. Completely different from the majority of pretty much every other case we've reviewed here today. And quite frankly, I am not a big fan of the design of this one, but some people out there will be, for sure. If you prefer having cloth, you don't want to have any fingerprints, then this is definitely a good option. Anyway, we'll get into the pros right now after I... Super nice. All right, let us show you here. I don't believe there's any... Okay, I think it's properly installed. There we go. There we go. There we go. And subtle branding at the top there. And all right, let's get started with the pros here. Pros are that it's slim, doesn't attract any fingerprints, no risk of scratches, risk of stains though because it's fabric, but relatively unobtrusive, pretty slim, covers all the edges. So as you can see in comparison to the Satechi case we just finished covering, it does cover both sides here nicely, and the corner thing goes up fairly high, covering that corner with more protection than the Satechi case at least. So what it looks like, you know, if you're just working, side profile. I do honestly not like hiding the Apple logo, and I do not like how, yeah, it just completely covers that. It makes it like a question mark. But if you are trying to hide the fact that it's a MacBook, maybe this is another pro. Let's give you them side by side here. All right, moving on to the cons, guys. I believe I already touched on the cons. So the main thing is just the design, and of course that it can stain because it's fabric. Other than that, I can't really fault it for much of anything. It is covering all the bases. In terms of sliding, it does slide a bit. All right, so another con there. Let's show you the profile. Just grabbing it. Yep, you're just walking around. You got your MacBook. There we go. This is it from the back. Oh, when you carry it, yeah, you do have a firmer grip on this. I wouldn't say firmer, I'd say just about as firm as the others. So yeah, that's them side by side, guys. This is a personal preference thing. You're either gonna love it or hate it. Let me try and get you some more close angles of the fabric here. Yes, yes. Fabric. Nice dark fabric. This is the only color I saw on Amazon Canada. I don't know, maybe they have different colors for the fabric. But yeah, obviously a unique case relative to all the others we just reviewed. Alright guys, and now time for the final case before we move on to discussing the skin options that are available from different brands out there. Of course, if you don't want a case and you want something super slim, you're going to have to go with a skin option, and we'll discuss the pros and cons of that shortly. But this Blue Swan is basically the Mosiso case, but it covers the corners, unlike the Mosiso case, or so I am led to believe based on what I saw on Amazon with the pictures. This is the cheapest case of the bunch, coming in at around $12 US, but it might be the case I end up going with. Let us see. Blue Swan. It said it was Blue Swan, but honestly, if looking at this, it does not say Blue Swan anywhere on this. It says brand here is EooCoo. EooCoo. So Blue Swan is just, I don't know, like a different brand or something. I imagine there's 101 different companies that sell different versions of this Mosiso case. This one I liked it because it was basically the Mosiso case, as I said, but covering the corners. All right, and you're getting the initial unboxing experience here, so nothing in there. Or actually, wait, we do have stuff in here. Wait. Again, comes with the stuff that I'm probably not going to use. Okay, comes with a cloth, so you can wipe down your MacBook. Part of it is rubbery, and then the other part is soft. I don't know why you'd want a rubbery side to your cloth. But anyway, keyboard cover. Again, don't recommend you use this. I don't think Apple recommends you use this. That's why they don't sell it on the Apple site. And this one doesn't come with a screen protector, unlike the Mosiso case, which was the first case we reviewed, and the most one that is like this one. Surprisingly enough, the cloth that came with it actually has Blue Swan branding on it. Again, I don't know what to say. It's a $12 case. I wasn't expecting much, but this might be the case I end up going with. Let's just say that. So it came perfectly wrapped up like this, and all the clear cases, they come wrapped up to some extent. This one is perfectly tightly air wrapped. All right, the only difference between this and the Mosiso case so far that I can tell right off the bat is this one, the feet are gray instead of white on the Mosiso, and as I expected based on the Amazon images, this one has a cover for that corner on the MacBook, whereas the Mosiso case did not. Other than that, so far it seems like they're identical. Let's see though. All right, taking off the plastic here, guys. What do we have? All right, the bottom one did not come covered with anything right off the bat. I'm noticing some scratches on the edges and stuff that I imagine will fade away once I apply the case. But yeah, not the best quality. Already has some scratches on it, but that was the case with the $90 Tech21 case as well, right? Let's acknowledge that clear cases tend to have scratches on them. The top piece though, they wrapped it again perfectly with some more wrap because they did not want you to get fingerprints on it and stuff like that. So let me, under the assumption that this is the one I'm gonna keep, let's do this, but I'm not 100% sure. Blue Swan, let's do it. $12 case. Can it come through with the win? All right. This is brown. No. Blue Swan. Initial impressions are it's basically the Mosiso case, but addressing that one flaw I had with the Mosiso case, which was covering the corner here. Let us just make sure everything clicks in place and this is not... All right, we got clicks. All right, yeah, clicked everywhere that it should click. Nice secure fit. And yeah, we're getting Mosiso vibes here, guys. Definitely the same as the first case we reviewed, addressing that one flaw and giving us gray feet on the bottom instead of white. Side by side. All right, in terms of pros, all the pros of the clear cases we mentioned before, you know, not too fingerprint, it doesn't attract fingerprints too much, except, you know, in specific light, you'll start to notice the fingerprints, definitely, like from this angle I can notice the fingerprints. I don't know from what angle you guys can notice the fingerprints, if at all, because of the light I've got here. But yeah, there, you notice that? That came, like, that was without me even touching it. That was like a fingerprint from the factory right there. They're giving us some signatures on our $12 case here. Just sort of popping off. Anyway, stick with pros. Okay, it's not intruding on the design. Really, all the same pros we talked about for the clear cases, guys. I'm not gonna repeat it again, I don't think. I'm kind of confused here. Why? Odd. This is definitely the poorest quality case. Okay, I don't think this is the one I'm gonna keep, guys. I'm starting to notice like weird cracks and like inconsistencies in the way the plastic was molded on the edge here. I don't know if you're able to see that. It just looks super messed up, like it's not supposed to look like that. Are we seeing this? All right. Maybe there's another case company out there that is making it with the corner protection, but has a higher quality standard of quality in terms of the design or the build of their cases, because this is just, it's got cracks here on the bottom as well. Is this focusing? I can't even tell, the screen's so small. Yeah. Anyway, Blue Swan, cheapest case of the lot. For the money, I don't know. It might be worth it, you know. Save yourself $4 versus the Mosiso, plus get that corner coverage. Maybe you will. Maybe yours too, it will have better quality control than mine, so you never know. Maybe this one was just a bad, what did they call it? A lemon? Yeah, maybe this one was a lemon. It's like a used car, like they give you a lemon. It's just... Alright, this is it side by side, guys. Again, unobtrusive. The feet are super rubbery, and
It's funny how on some of the more expensive cases, the feet aren't this rubbery, but like, I don't know why they didn't just get higher quality rubber. But anyway, I like the blue Swan case. For the price, it is hard to beat. You're either going with the Mosiso case for the better build quality, but even that one cracked, right? So what I like about these ones is they're glossy and relatively unobtrusive. If you put a Dbrand skin on this, it would probably look pretty slick, you know, with that glossy finish. But of course, yeah, you're dealing with shoddy craftsmanship, or what could potentially be inconsistent craftsmanship, and scratches and fingerprints to some extent, of course, as with all clear cases. But relatively light, and it's not pushing down on the screen too much. But again, it's shoddy craftsmanship. We still got, like, for example, that corner still sort of messed up there. But I did have it on incorrectly. But as you can see, it's basically the Mosiso case, but the corner's covered. Same pros and cons, except it covers the corner. And this one has lower quality control. As we can see, there's just weird scratches, weird fingerprints that came pre-installed on this, came pre-installed with fingerprints from the factory. I don't know, guys. I can't make I can't make up my decision on the spot. Maybe I'll watch the video and decide after I see them all on video in 4K, which is why we're filming this. This is what it looks like when you're holding it. Again, pretty much the Mosiso case, but with that extra coverage on the corner. As promised, now we will move on to discussing Dbrand Skins, Phantom Skins, and SlickWraps. The offerings from all of them. I have not placed orders yet, but I probably will when I get bored of the way my MacBook looks. Now, Dbrand, of course, is, I think, the most notorious of the three skin wrap companies. And, you know, they're well established. There's a lot of YouTubers support them. They sponsor a lot of YouTubers. And they have the best designs, in my opinion, Dbrand. But the one thing Dbrand lacks is giving you skins that give full coverage. So they'll give you skins that cover the top and bottom of your MacBook so that you don't get any scratches on the top or bottom. But they will not cover the sides of your MacBook. And definitely not the edges, right? So by edges, I mean like this part here, which is where you're going to get scratches and scuffs right on the corners there. And of course, Dbrand doesn't even cover the edges in general. So you're just getting the top and the bottom. But if you combine that, a Dbrand skin, with this, you can potentially just end up changing the look of your MacBook throughout time as you desire. Granted, Dbrand skins are not cheap. They're probably more expensive than the case you'll end up buying. Like this case is $12. Dbrand skins are like, for MacBooks Pros are like $30 or something like that, and maybe even more if you want the top and bottom skin. I think it's like closer to 40 or something like that, US dollars. And yeah, once you remove a Dbrand skin, you can't reapply it. You're basically done with it. But they have really good customer service, and so if you mess up your installation of a Dbrand skin, they will basically cover you on that, as long as you give them proof. Dbrand, great company, best designs. That's probably what I'll do. I'll probably get a Dbrand skin coupled with like one of these transparent cases at some point when I get bored of the way my MacBook looks. Especially the new Damascus skins on Dbrand. Those are the ones that are interesting to me the most, particularly the green acid one. Anyway, that's Dbrand, right? But let's say you want to cover your edges. You want edge coverage and you want a transparent skin. Dbrand does not do transparent MacBook skins. So you're going to want to go to either SlickWraps or Phantom Skins, who both have transparent skins that come in both a gloss and matte finish. And the reason I didn't go with either of those, although they were valid options for sure, is applying a transparent or clear skin, be it matte or glossy, in my experience is just really difficult, especially if it's glossy. You're going to need to be very careful, and you're going to need to be very careful and surgical hands to apply that transparent skin if you do get it from SlickWraps or Phantom Skins. And on that note, so they will give you stuff to help apply them, but honestly I don't have the patience for that, and I've had my fair share of trying to apply transparent skins like on my AirPods Pro. Let me show you. And as you can see here, it's difficult to apply. Granted, of course, I do think this is better than not having any skin on my AirPods, but as you can see, it looks kind of wonky. Not that it bothers me enough to take this off or anything. They did give me two. I believe this was from SlickWraps. But yeah, you can get that for your MacBook. Again, it won't cover the corners, but I believe Phantom Skins has one that will cover the edges for you. So you'll have your edges covered, your top and your bottom will both be covered. Gotta give Icey some attention. You're a good girl. We've got Icey in the house. She just wants some attention, guys. Let's give Icey a hand. Icey, campeona. Say hi. Me llamo Icey. What?
What I ended up going with is the Dbrand Acid Damascus skin that you see in front of you here, and I opted for no case, and I tried it with a case and I just didn't like the look of it quite as much as without a case. So despite the fact that I started this video by saying I'm scared of scratches and all that, I think the trade-off of aesthetic and slimmer profile is the way for me. It is quite flashy. I've gotten compliments at the airport from the airport security people. They said, fancy MacBook you got there? It's a looker. So what else could you ask for, really? Isn't that what we're all after? And yeah, this is what it looks like. Obviously Dbrand has a bunch of skins, and we have also Phantom skins. We have SlickWraps. So you got SlickWraps, Phantom skins, and Dbrand. Dbrand obviously is the best, I think, for just straight up designs. The other two are good if you want like edge case scenarios, like let's say you want a fully transparent, slick wrap that will cover the edges and everything. You can get that from SlickWraps or Phantom skins, or maybe both. This is what I'm sticking with for now. Maybe I'll try those different options, but for now this is it. To summarize basically the options, really, I think if I was going to go with a clear matte case, I'd go with the Satechi, because it had that extra space for a dongle if you really wanted it. So I think that's a pro, actually. It wasn't really a con. And if I wanted a completely clear case, I wouldn't really spring for any of the expensive ones. I'd probably go with either the Blue Swan or the Mosiso one, and just knowing that it might crack when you apply it, you might have to exchange it a couple times in all likelihood. But I think if you're just going for a pure clear basic case, then just spend, what is it, like $16-20 for one of those and you're all set. Let me know if there's any cases I missed in the comments. If you have any questions about any of the cases I mentioned today or any of the skins that I talked about, just drop them in the comments. I should be able to answer them pretty quickly. I hope this video proved helpful to you. If it did, please drop a like, subscribe. The Dbrand Acid Damascus skin is a safe buy. This is SaifBuys, and I'll catch you on the next video, guys. Peace.